Love Your Block is here in the city of Gary, Indiana.
The City of Gary's Love Your Block program is funded by grants to help improve neighborhoods.
Love Your Block is so important to Mayor Eddie D. Melton and city leadership. Why? Because it empowers residents to play an active role in shaping the future of their neighborhood.
Join us in our community conversations where you are invited to share your ideas on what you want to see in your neighborhood.
In year one, our 3 key neighborhoods are Midtown, Black Oak, and Glen Park, the University Park area.
Our aim is simple: to improve the quality of life for all of our residents for years to come. Not only that, but to create a sense of pride and attachment to where you live.
Be on the lookout for more information on how to get involved.
By establishing partnerships with local organizations, residents, businesses, churches, non-for-profits, we'll truly create a neighborhood where even you will love your block.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Mayor Eddie Melton of the great city of Gary, Indiana, and I'm sending a special invitation out to each and every one of you to join me on March 6th from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at St. Timothy's Church in Gary, Indiana, at 1600 West 25th Avenue. This is going to be a night where we're going to inform the public on our proposal between the city of Gary and the Hard Rock Casino for the Lake County Convention Center that's going to happen right here in this city. As state senator, I fought very hard to get Senate Bill 434 passed. And this Senate bill that passed almost 2 years ago will give us the opportunity to have this great economic engine right here in the city of Gary. This will yield multiple jobs, increase our tax base and opportunities to bring economic vitality in the city of Gary. Join us on March 6th. From 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at St. Timothy's Church right here in the city of Gary. And I want to thank Pastor Jackson and the entire congregation of St. Timothy's Church for allowing us to be with you on that night. God bless.
Good morning. I'd like to call to order the City of Gary Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for February 19th, 2025. Please, let's stand and say our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. To confirm that we have a legal meeting, let's have roll call. Confirm quorum.
Member Green.
Present.
Member Allen.
Present.
Secretary Morgan. Vice President Dumas.
Present.
President Suggs.
Present.
Mr. President, you have 4 present and 1 absent.
With 4 members present, we have a legal meeting. We can conduct the business of the Board of Public Works and Safety. Move on to item number 3 on our agenda, and that would be the approval of the minutes from the February 12th meeting, 2025. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and properly second that the meeting minutes from February 12th, 2025 has motion to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Let's move on to item number 4 on our agenda, claims.
Mr. President, we have before us claims to be paid on February 21st, 2025. General fund is $73,872.79. Special revenues, local roads and streets, park department, health and human services, vehicle auction, community development grant, law enforcement training grant, health and human services family 2010 grant, warming and cooling, Comp Court Grant, ESG Shelters Grant, Green Urbanism Grant, HIV Prevention Grant, COVID-19 CDBG Grant, Fleet Self-Insurance, Love Your Block Grant, Consolidated Area TIF, and Workers' Comp and Unemployment is a total of $106,709.76. Also, we have the ARPA grant, Market Park Fire Pension Fund, and Police Pension Fund for a total of $29,187.41.
I will entertain a motion to approve grants to be paid on February 21st, 2025.
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded, payment of claims February 21st, 2025. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan? Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
President's vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, claims for February 21st, 2025 payment have been approved.
We also have before us ratification of claims, and they are for February 12th through 18th. Park Department, Public Safety and Income Tax, Redevelopment Non-Reverting Fund, and the Lakefront TIF, $127,216.33.
I will entertain a motion for ratification of claims to be paid through February 12th through February 18th.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan? Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the ratification of claims to be paid February 12th through February 18th has been approved. May we go on to item number 5 on our agenda, correspondence and agreements.
Mr. President, our first correspondence and agreements by way of the Gary Police Department. It is a resignation. The memo is from Chief Derek Cannon Sr., Chief of Police for the Gary Police Department. Respectfully submit the resignation notice for Patrolman Adam Campos. Officer Campos began his employment with the City of Gary on May 19th, 2021, totaling 3 years of service. He resigned from his position effective February 8th, 2025. Attached here too is a copy of the said resignation notice, and all additional documentation has been documented. At this time, I would like to move to approve the resignation for Patrolman Adam Campos.
There's a motion on the floor to accept the resignation of Patrolman Campbell. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Been moved and properly.
Member Green? Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan? Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no's.
Mr. President, the next correspondence we have is by way of the Public Works Department. It's a request to advertise. There are 2 requests in this particular memo from the Public Works Department. The first request is for supplying the staff uniforms. The staff or the Public Works Department has traditionally had one vendor. It's just simply time to ensure that we're getting the best and most feasible cost for those uniforms. And so the Public Works Department respectfully requests the ability to advertise for responses for RFQ in order to get back. And then the second one is for lawn care vendors. As we begin to get ready to open up the spring, summer, and fall season, the request to advertise for lawn care vendors for the 2025 lawn care season will be the next RFP. At this time, I would like to move to approve RFP or request to advertise for both supply of staff uniforms and lawn care vendors.
There's a motion on the floor for RFP for the uniform provider. as
Mr.
well.
President,
Yes.
I don't think your mic is on.
Thank you, sir. There is a motion on the floor for an RFP for selecting a vendor for uniform purchasing, and a RFP for lawn care providers.
I second the motion.
The motion has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the motion carries for RFP for uniform supply, RFP, as well as lawn care providers. Thank you.
Mr. President, the next correspondence we have is also from the Public Works Department. It is for disabled parking sign renewals. The following residents have presented applications for renewal residential disabled parking signage, 3535 Jackson Street, 1141 Maryland Street, and 4963 Adams Street. All submitted documentation has been provided to the Public Works Department, and required fees will be paid upon approval. At this time, I would like to move to approve the renewals of the handicap parking signage.
There's been a motion on the floor and has been properly seconded for the renewal of handicap parking signs for 3535 Jackson, 1141 Maryland, 4963 Adams Street. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan? Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the handicap parking sign renewal has been approved for 3535 Jackson, 1141 Maryland, and 4963 Adams Street in Gary.
Mr. President, the next correspondence we have is by way of the Law Department. The first one is for Gatlin Plumbing. The current hot water heater has gone out at the Railcat Stadium. It is 25 years old, so it's definitely held its life. So we solicited quotes from 3 different vendors that have done contracts with the city and are equipped to deal with the type of commercial hot water heater. Gatlin Plumbing came in with the most best and most responsive quote, and the total quote is for, wait a minute. 59,250. Thank you, sir, Mr. President. And it was the least quote out of all 3. At this time, we would like to approve the QC12 and QC40 has been provided. This falls because hot water is a required item in regards to health and safety. This was one of those things that is urgent and must be replaced in order to continue into the next season for the Railcat Stadium. So at this time, Mr. President, I would like to approve the contract for Gatling Plumbing for $59,250.
There's a motion on the floor to approve contract for boiler replacement and installation at the Gary Railcat Stadium by Gatlin Plumbing and Heaney Eek, 1111 East Main Street in Griffith. This contract is not to exceed the total of $59,250. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. May I have any discussion on this matter? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval?
Member Green? Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the contract for Gatlin Plumbing and Heating, Inc. from 1111 East Main Street, Griffith, in the amount of $59,250 has been approved.
Mr. President, next we have a professional service contract with Sender & Sender. Sender & Sender, who the city has worked with for many years. The scope of services for this contract is the contractor agrees to provide various accounting and consulting services as outlined in the service agreement, which is attached here to as Exhibit 1. In addition to this contract, the contract also incorporates by reference the following documents, which are the service agreement, the request for review of a contract. Well, I won't read this, kind of get into the weeds, but the term of the contract is be effective from now until the end of the year, December 31st, 2025. The maximum compensation under this is not to exceed $150,000. And the service agreement sets out that their hourly rates are for partners, $300 to $350 an hour. Principal advisor, $200 an hour. Municipal advisor, $180 an hour. Senior associates, $165 an hour. Associates, $140. Consultants, $115. Analysts, $100 an hour. Intern, $90 an hour. Administrative assistant, $80 an hour. And subcontractors would be $60 per hour. So with that, I move that we approve the contract with Sender and Sender for accounting services in an amount not to exceed $150,000.
There's a motion on the floor to approve a contract for accounting services with Sender and Sender Company from Valparaiso, Indiana. The contract is not to exceed $150,000. Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. May I have any discussion on the matter?
Mr. President, I'd just like to add that Sendering companies mainly assist us with our bank reconciliations, but they also assist us in filing any financial reports for compliance purposes.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this matter? Hearing no further discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the contract for accounting services with Sender and Sender not to exceed $150,000 has been approved.
Next, Mr. President, we have a contract extension with Sender and Company, which is DBA Sender Dalton Municipal Advisors. This is an extension of a contract that was approved February 22nd, 2024. This extension is to extend the contract in time, whereby the contract will be effective from the contract we entered into in 2022. I'm sorry, I need coffee today. The contract we entered into on February 22nd, 2024 would be extended from this past January 1st through the last day of 2026, December 31st, 2026. The amount remaining under the contract is $79,189.03. So with that, I move that we approve the contract extension of the contract we entered into with Sender and Dalton on February 22nd, 2024 through the end of 2026.
There's a motion on the floor to approve a contract extension with Sender and Sender Municipal Advisors. The contract will go from the time period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. This contract is not to exceed the amount of $79,189.03. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion?
Yes, Mr. President, for Sending Company, this contract relates to ARPA manager, and the City Council approved funding from ARPA for an ARPA manager back in 2020. So the funds that are left, the $79,189, is a result of the purchase order that was established when these funds were made available. So we're extending the contract until the ARPA funding is no longer, is spent actually, which is the end of 2026.
What happens to the funds at the end of 2025 or 2026 if they're not exhausted?
Okay, so we lose them.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't spend after that date, 12/26.
Okay.
So
Any other?
we-
I'm sorry, go ahead. Please.
So I was about to say probably next year sometime we should take a look at the amount that's still left on the contract and what has to be done to see if we need to move it. Okay.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? May we have roll call for approval?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
And President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the contract extension for Sender and Sender in the amount of $79,189.03 has been approved.
Mr. President, next we have an amendment to a contract for professional services with Shakira Gunn. This is also an extension for more time on this contract. So this extension would make the contract effective through March 30th, 2025. The amount not to exceed in this contract is $5,384 per month, based on the rate of $33.65 an hour. The contractor must submit detailed invoices for services performed. So with that, I move that we approve the extension for Shakira Gunn's contract through March 31st, 2025.
There's a motion on the floor to approve a contract extension for professional services delivered with the city mental health crisis services by vendor Shakira Gunn, excuse me. This contract is not to exceed the dollar amount of $5,384. Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this contract extension? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green. Member Allen.
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
Vice President Dumas.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the contract extension for Shakira Gunn has been approved.
That concludes correspondence from the Law Department.
Thank you. Any additional correspondence?
Correspondence from the Community Development Department. We have a bid opening. You said Mike? Oh. Sorry about that. We have a bid opening from the Community Development Department. The first we have is from MTJ Enterprises Limited. Which they have an address of 3813 West 5th Avenue here in Gary, Indiana. The project title is for vegetation removal and root treatment. Total project cost is $90,000.
Who was the vendor? I'm sorry.
This is MTJ Enterprises.
MTJ?
MTJ Enterprises Limited. Total project cost is $90,000. It includes Roosevelt High School fence line, Gleason Park perimeter. Okay, so just those two locations.
In the scope, one more time, please, sir.
The title is vegetation removal and root treatment.
Okay.
Next, we have from Rough Hands Landscape Company, located 618 Mississippi Street, Gary, Indiana. We have a total amount of $60,000. This is for the Gleason Golf Course, $60,000. And then for the Roosevelt High School fence line, $40,000. And again, that's Rough Hands Landscaping. Next we have More is Better Lawn Care.
Would you repeat the name of the vendor?
More is Better Lawn Care.
Thank you. Okay.
We have a total cost of $9,500. Yeah.
For which one?
So we have a breakdown for the labor cost, equipment, stump grinding. It doesn't look like these are estimated at 80 hours of work, so these aren't like unit rates. It doesn't, let me see, it doesn't give trying to confirm the address, if they mean this for both sites or each, but yeah, total cost just says $9,500. I mean, all of these will be reviewed, you know, after we open them, but that's what it states.
Okay.
And again, More is Better Lawn Care Service. Next, we have Underground Excavating Solutions.
The vendor, could you share their location?
Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss that? They are located at 5164 East 81st Avenue, Suite 259, Maryville, Indiana.
Okay.
And what's the name of that?
More is Better Lawn
More
Care
is Better.
Service. Sorry about that. So this is Underground Excavating Solutions, located 6948 West 1700 South. Oh, I'm sorry. That's South. West 1700, Wanata, Indiana. Okay, and this is for tree removal and vegetation clearing along the fence line of Roosevelt High School and Gleason Park. Total cost $63,486. $63,486, and that's for both locations. Okay, and last we have from Glenn X. Miller.
Mr. Miller's where?
Address is going to be in the documents. It's
Okay.
not on the envelope. Okay, strike that. Liberty Property Management LLC, located P.O. Box 617, Griffith, Indiana. Okay. I have a total cost of $8,700. And this looks like we got Wesson and Roosevelt pictured in the site location. So both locations are included. And again, the total cost that I'm seeing is $8,700. It includes labor, materials, and equipment for removing and root treatment. Nothing is down for permits. Nothing is down for cleanup and disposal. And there is a $0 amount for administrative contingencies. Okay. And again, that is, what did I say the name was? Liberty Property Management, LLC. This may be, so this is for the vegetation proposal. There looks to be another from Liberty for fencing proposal. And this is, it looks like it's the fencing around Gleason. And we have a total cost of $838,798.56. These services include labor, materials, equipment, permitting, cleanup and disposal fees, and overhead costs.
And that was just the golf course.
And this is titled the fencing proposal. For only thing that's pictured is Gleason, yes, just the golf course.
838,000. That's what I heard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so that concludes the bid openings. We will make sure that community development gets copies, and then at a later Board of Works meeting, come back with a recommendation.
Certainly. Any questions from board members? I certainly need some more information in regards to the true scope. It was a really variety of bids from 4 digits to 6. So we just need some clarity of what is being done, and is this cleaning it once for the year, or is this every month we're going to clean weeds from the what that true scope of work is being sought after.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Is it community development is going to come back to the board with a recommendation?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they'll review the bids, and then we'll come back with a recommendation.
I just have I'm just curious, plan on doing some research, but is there another way we can receive these other than by paper? Just curious in regards to, and still keep the integrity of them being sealed?
No, because they have to be, the state law says it has to be sealed bids that are open at a public meeting. So there's no other way there's no way to seal them if they're electronic. So, unless the state law changes, no.
To Vice President Dumas's point, as far as consistency in the bid, is the form that is submitted, is it the same form, or does each group submit their own form of you know, is it a standard form that's filled out? Yeah, or they pulling it off the website or something.
Best based on the specs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like well, no, it wasn't consistent for all of them, but it looks like some paperwork was provided for them to fill out. But yeah, moving forward, it doesn't hurt to have a template.
And that should be issued by the submitting department for
Yeah, whoever's advertising and soliciting bids.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any other correspondence?
That concludes correspondence or the bid opening.
At that point, can we move on to item number 6 on our agenda, unfinished business?
Mr. President, we don't have any unfinished business at this time.
Let's move to item number 7, new business.
Okay, Mr. President, first we have a resolution of this board regarding the memorandum of understanding between the Hard Rock Northern Indiana LLC and the City of Gary. And I'm just going to read the proposed resolution into the record, which is, whereas the City of Gary, Indiana, as a result of Senate Bill 434, issued a request for proposals / request for qualification for a private partner to assist the city in developing a proposal to submit to the Lake County Commissioners in response to the Commission's May 15, 2024 RFP/RFQ for a Lake County Convention Center. Whereas one response to the City of Gary's RFP/RFQ was received, which was from Hard Rock, Northern Indiana, and such RFP/RFQ was accepted by the Board of Public Works and Safety. Whereas the City of Gary, working with Hard Rock, Northern Indiana LLC, has submitted a proposal to the Lake County Commissioners proposing that the Lake County Convention Center be built in Gary. Whereas the City of Indiana and Hard Rock, Northern Indiana, now desire to enter into an MOU setting out the terms for its partnership for the development of the Lake County Convention Center, and whereas MOU between the City of Gary and Hard Rock, Northern Indiana is attached here to and incorporated herein, now therefore be resolved by the City of Gary, Indiana Board of Works and Public Safety as follows, that the Board of Public Works and Safety does hereby approve the attached MOU between the City of Gary and Hard Rock, Northern Indiana. As stated, the MOU is attached here, and it's pretty simple and to the point. We're going to work together on developing the convention center if we're awarded it by the county commissioners. Consistent with the LDA and in support of the project, Hard Rock will commit to pledge $1.5 million a year from the Lakefront Fund for a period of 20 years. The state of Indiana is committed to match up to $5 million a year for a period of 20 years. Hard Rock's contribution shall be used as matching funds for those pledged by the state of Indiana. And that's the key thing, is that sets out our financial arrangement and enables us to move forward. Again, we have to await a decision by the Lake County Commissioners, but it is important for us to get this MOU in place. So with that, I move that we approve this MOU between the city and Hard Rock, Northern Indiana for the development of a Lake County Convention Center in the city of Gary.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the MOU between Hard Rock, Indiana, and the City of Gary for the creation of a convention center for Lake County, Indiana. Is there a second for this motion?
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Is there, under item B, section 2, anything in regards to the City of Gary? I see from something from Lake County and the state, from Hard Rock in the state. I thought there was.
So, and again, this just covers essentially what Hard Rock is gonna do for the city. The city has also committed $5 million in revenue to this project. That's contained in our proposal. We submitted to Lake County Commissioners, but it's not in this proposal because it wasn't essential to this proposal.
Okay. Thank you for the clarity. Any additional? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas? President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the MOU between Hard Rock Northern Indiana LLC and the City of Gary has been approved.
Sorry. The next correspondence we have is professional service contract for the attorney for the Fire Civil Service Commission. This contract is a renewal from the past several years. Excuse me. The Fire Civil Service Commission, we're retaining the services for Attorney William Renzer Williams III. And the total contract is not to exceed $50,000 for all commission hearings. At this time, I would like to move to approve the contract, professional service contract for Attorney Renzer Williams III for Gary Fire Civil Service Commission.
There's a motion on the floor to approve a contract between Attorney Renzer Williams to serve as legal advisor for the Gary Fire Civil Service Commission. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this matter? Hearing no discussion, may I have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan? Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
And President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the contract has been approved. Any additional new business?
Yeah, we have two additional that pertain to legal settlements. One is whereas the City of Gary was sued in case number 45D10 2004 PL 172 by Lester Lake, whereas the litigation stemmed from Mr. Lake's injuring himself on city property, and the plaintiff has agreed to accept $12,000 in full and final settlement of this litigation. Now therefore be resolved by the City of Gary, Indiana Board of Public Works and Safety as follows. The Board of Public Works does hereby approve the settlement of this case in amount not to exceed $12,000. The Law Department is hereby authorized to execute any documents related to this matter, which the Law Department deems necessary to resolve this matter. The resolution shall be effective upon its adoption by the Board of Public Works and Safety. I move that we approve this settlement agreement and authorize the Law Department to fully execute it in the amount not to exceed $12,000.
There's a motion on the floor to accept the settlement with Mr. Lester Lake in the amount not to exceed $12,000. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this matter?
Yes, Attorney Molina, if you could just set the record for the date in which the alleged incident occurred.
Good morning, Board. So this is stemming from an incident that happened way back under Karen Freeman's administration back in 2018. The plaintiff filed suit in 2020, just before the statute of limitations almost ran, and it's been pending for 4 years. It stems from he fell in an area the city had done some work. He alleges that we negligently maintained the property. It wasn't well lit. He initially was seeking over $100,000 in damages. We've got an agreement to settle it for $12,000, and we'll put that litigation behind us and close the door on that and move on to other things. So, if there's any questions, please let me know.
Thank you so much.
Any additional discussion on this matter? May I have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green? Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
Vice President Dumas.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the litigation settlement with Mr. Lester Lake in the amount of $12,000 has been approved.
Next, Mr. President, we have another litigation settlement. It's, and the cause number 45D04-2403-PL-172 was filed by Jack Mitchell against the city. It stemmed from the demolition of a property performed by the city of Gary through its redevelopment department. Whereas in the best interest of the city to resolve this dispute, the plaintiff has agreed to accept $10,000 in full and final settlement of this litigation. Whereas the plaintiff has agreed to convey the real property on which the home existed back to the city of Gary. Now therefore be it resolved by the city of Gary, Indiana as follows. The Board of Public Works and Safety does hereby approve that the law department has settled this litigation for an amount not to exceed $10,000. The law department is hereby authorized to execute any documents related to this matter, which the law department deems necessary to resolve the matter. The resolution shall be effective upon adoption by the Board of Public Works and Safety. So with that, I move that we approve the settlement of this case with Jack Mitchell in the amount of $10,000 not to exceed.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the settlement with a Mr. Jack Mitchell in the amount of $10,000. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this matter?
If we could have Attorney Molina return and give just some background details on this matter.
Sure. On this one, it stems from some activity. This was back in the Prince administration. There was a knockdown of a property. Unfortunately, it wasn't the right property. The plaintiff in this case did not know his property was going to be knocked down. They began trying to settle this with us back in 2022. At that point, they wouldn't accept less than $15,000. Then they filed a lawsuit in 2024. At that point, they were asking for $40,000. So I think this is a good resolution. We're now agreeing to settle it for less than they initially were asking for in 2022. On both of these pieces of litigation, I would just point, we kept them in-house, so we did not spend money out with outside counsel. So that resulted in a savings for the city. But I think this is a fair settlement. In addition, we do get the property back, and redevelopment has agreed that they may be able to do something with that property. So that's why I recommend it. I believe this is a fair settlement.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green.
Yes.
Member Allen.
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
Vice President Dumas.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the settlement with Mr. Jack Mitchell in the city of Gary for the amount of $10,000 has been approved. To our facilitator, are there any calls in queue for public comments?
No, there isn't.
Looking at the list here in the room, it doesn't appear to have any signatures. Is there anyone in the room that would like to comment? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is adjourned.
Mm-hmm.